Happy Monday. Today is Monday, April the 26th, 2021, and today's daily Bible readings come to us from Psalm 95, 1 Samuel 16, 1 through 13, and 1 Peter 5, 1 through 5. And then I'm going to look at the text from 1 Samuel 16, 1 through 13, and talk about how it's not just all about Samuel, right? You know, God asks Samuel, how long are you going to grieve over Saul? So, here's the story. Samuel is grieving over Saul, whom he had anointed king over Israel because God told him to, right? But Saul had been, let's just say, a less than perfect king, less than perfect candidate for kingship over Israel. Although, in his defense, he fulfilled all the things that God said, would happen if Israel had a king. So anyway, but he had been a less than perfect candidate. And their relationship, Samuel's relationship with Saul, and Saul's relationship with God had been contentious at best, right? If you go back and you read the stories, you could see all this. So Saul, the problem was he was this really stubborn and disobedient guy. So much so that God just finally rejected him as being king over Israel. He still was in office. He still had the crown. He still had the title. But as far as God was concerned, he's like, no, you're not king over Israel, and your household will never inherit this throne of Israel. And so God was ready to go a different direction. So God had rejected him, and here Samuel is, after this news that God's given him, Samuel's grieving over the failure of this man who would be king. But ironically, Samuel never wanted Israel to have a king in the first place. When they even came to him and demanded that he give them a king like all the other nations around them had, because Joey down the street has a king, why can't I have a king? When they came to him demanding a king, he took it personally. He took it as a sign that they were rejecting him. And then God had to come in and put Samuel in his place. So I know it sounds like this story is about Saul and how horrible Saul was, but really the issue in this story early on is the problem is with Samuel, because Samuel he doesn't get that it's not about him. So, when the people initially came to him demanding a king, he thought it was all about him, and he took it personally, and God had to put him to rights and say, Samuel, it's not about you. It's about me. They're not rejecting you. They're rejecting me just the way they've always done it since I brought them out of Egypt. It's not about you. And so here he is grieving over this, let's just say Samuel once again is being all kinds of extra about this king that he didn't even want in the first place. This failed king that he never even really wanted to go anoint. So it's not about Samuel once again. It's about God's authority and about God's decision. God comes to him and says, how long are you going to do this? How long are you going to grieve over this guy? I'm the one who rejected him. It's all on me. It's my decision, by the way, Samuel. You just do what I say. And God's like, I'm moving on. So should you. So he tells him to get up, grab his anointing oil, grab that horn of oil that you got hanging on the wall over there, that you really probably haven't touched since you anointed Saul anyway, and follow me, because I'm going in a new direction. I'm going to a new place, and I'm setting up a whole new time with new people and a new beginning, but I'm the same God. So sometimes maybe when we waste time just kind of grieving over what was, or grieving over the way things have been, or grieving over the thing that we lost, and not enough time just getting past it and following God to the new way he's going, to the new place he's going, in the new direction. Because after all, he may be going in new directions, and he may be calling us in new directions, but he's still the same God. So anyway, that's the DBR for today. Get out, enjoy the day, have a good time, and we'll see you tomorrow. Boop.